I feel your pain. You're facing one of the toughest decisions that you may make in your life. Hi, I'm Jimmy Mitchell, and in this video, I'm going to provide you with some perspective and advice to help you unpack and hopefully make the decision of whether you should stay or leave college easier for you. So stay tuned. The third question comes from Marcus from the YouTube channel again. So Marcus asks, I'm currently halfway through my degree and I'm really not enjoying it and I want to drop out. But I'm super stressed as I live with my parents and I'm not sure how they'll react. Do you have any advice? It's a good question. It's hard for me to answer this from any type of authority because I didn't go to university. I didn't go to college. So I actually didn't finish year 10 for full transparency's sake. But I think I can answer this from the other side of the equation, which is like, okay, well, what happens if you don't go to university or don't go to college? Because I didn't. And I seem to be doing okay. So let's unpack this. So effectively you're committed to 4 years or 3 years of doing something you don't enjoy. And like anything else, like if you're in a job that you don't enjoy, or if you're doing a business you don't enjoy, it has a tangible effect on your life. It has an effect on your performance. It has an effect on your outlook. It affects every aspect of your life. And it sounds like that you are concerned about what your parents think. I sense that you're concerned about letting yourself down and disappointing people and others. I'm gonna say that you're on the younger side, so I'm gonna talk from a place of like a bit of advice and take this as a grain of salt. Like I said, I'm not in your specific circumstance. If you'd like to talk about this more too, just let me know and we can jump on an actual call and I can help you unpack it a little bit better. But firstly, there's a lot of people that have been in your situation. University and college is the path that a lot of parents want to send their children down because it is, as a parent and as a parent of 2 children myself, it is a good way of guaranteeing success in your children, right? Not necessarily a direct success, but them being able to commit to something for 4 years is a really good starting point to future careers. So let's say, for instance, you do a degree and you don't get a job from it, you're still committed to one thing for several years, which is a great starting point. So I can see why parents want to get their children into university now and college. Now, my personal opinion on college and university is that unless you're doing something that specifically requires that, like a doctor, engineer, things like that, I honestly feel like practical experience is a more valuable teacher than theoretical university degrees. Now, the reason why businesses put so much weight into university degrees is because of exactly that. It creates a minimum baseline for them to benchmark people off. So it's a binary thing. As a business, it's like, okay, well, take marketing for instance. You 100% don't need a degree to get into the marketing space. But businesses use a degree as a baseline to separate people because it's an easy thing to quantify. Okay, they've done a degree in marketing. It's okay, well, he hasn't. Okay, well, theoretically, he's better than he is. A lot of time in practical sake, it's not. There's a lot of things that university teaches you outside of the theoretical stuff. But let's go back to your specific question about leaving your degree. If you're not enjoying it and you want to drop out, I would suggest that you sit on it for a week. Sit on it for a week or 2 weeks and just frame it around being as objective as possible. So go into your classes, do everything as objective as possible and look and go after 2 weeks, after being conscious that you're thinking about this, if you are still keen on leaving, then it's probably time to give up the degree. I will say this though, if you are going to do that, you need to have a plan. You can't just drop out of college and go to doing nothing. You need to have a concerted plan of attack on what you want to be doing. If it's not college, and this is putting my parent hat on, I would be very pissed if my child wanted to quit college but didn't have a plan. Because I don't give a shit about the college side. Like, if he doesn't want to do college, that's not for him, that's cool. But he better leave college and have a plan of attack. This is my boys. They better leave college and have a plan of attack. And if they need me to help them with that, then so be it. But like, you can't just leave a boat that's sailing in one direction and jump into the water with no other boat coming to pick you up. It's a good way to just get left behind. So you need to seriously sit down and go, okay, let's use college for instance. Go, what are the things I really want to do in life? Where do I want to be? What are my actual goals? And it's hard to determine that when you're young, but you know, be objective about it. Go like, I really want to do what Jimmy's doing. I really want to start my own business. I really want to do this. I really want to do that. And you go, okay, well, that's my plan. That's my goal. Okay, well, let's unpack from the finish line. So let's say this is a year. Let's say your transition out of college is going to take a year because there's logistics and everything like that. So you want to go, I want to get out of college on this date. I'm going to be leaving at the end of the year. Okay, well, what needs to happen for me to go from college into the next path, which gets me closer to where I want to be in, say, 24 months or 36 months. Let's say it's starting a business, right? It's like, okay, well, I've got another video on things that you can do that will help you propel you forward, but it might be, okay, well, I want to start a business. I want to start a digital business. Okay, well, in the next 12 months, I'm going to have to learn this, this, and this. I'm going to have to try and start looking for work in the space or work that will propel me forward towards that, and start planning your attack. Your stress will significantly decrease if you have a plan going into an exit like this. If you go on a whim and just leave college, I could see why your parents would be upset. But if you leave college and go to your parents and go, I understand if you don't understand this, but I don't want to do this anymore. I really, really want to do this, and this is how I'm going to get there. And you just let the chips fall where they may. Yes, your parents may get upset. They may be super supportive. You just don't know. That's what creates the stress. But let's say they are upset, right? Let's say your parents are really upset and they knee-jerk react to it. You've got to be mentally prepared for that. As you get older, you start to realize that people's opinions, including your parents' opinions, matter less. It's what your personal mindset and opinion of yourself is that is the single most important thing. You know, when I didn't finish year 10 at school and I left school, I had some pretty upset parents, clearly. You know, like I didn't even finish year 10. So like I hadn't even finished junior high school. And I left, but I kind of had a rough plan. I went and worked. My dad basically said, if you're not going to be in school, you've got to be working. And so that's what I did. But I could tell my parents were disappointed in my decision. And then I just said, okay, as a mindset, I need to, not only for my own mental wealth and well-being, but for, you know, just in general, I need to prove them wrong. I need to go out there and prove everyone wrong. You know, I've created this, so I've jumped out of the boat, the college boat, which has taken me to one path, and I've jumped out in the water, and the other boat is slowly coming past. I've got to tread water for long enough till that other boat comes past, jump on, and then push it straight past the college boat. You've got to do that. Your mindset and the way you think about things is 10 times more important than your actual actions. So I left year 10, went and worked, and I was just like, I've got to do something. I've got to do something with my life. Every day I'd be like, I've got to do something, because my parents were upset at me. I felt kind of down that I couldn't see it through. I was disappointed in myself, but I'm like, I will achieve something. I will achieve something. I will achieve something. And step at a time, eventually I started achieving things. And now I look back at my parents being upset at me, and I talk to my dad about this stuff because we're all older. And he's quite proud of me now. He's like, you know, I'm glad you did something with your life. I didn't think you would do anything. You know, probably not the healthiest relationship, but like, I think you've got to be conscious of what others around you think, because sometimes their opinions can guide your decisions and help you stop being. I like making a knee-jerk decision to leave college is not the right way to go about it. And your parents are probably conscious of that, and they don't want you to do that. But if you go to your parents and go, look, I've been sitting on this decision for 3 weeks now. I've made a plan on how I really want to start my own business and get into marketing, let's say, for instance, or start an agency. I've made a plan on how I'm going to go about it. I'm willing to do anything to make it succeed, but university or college is not the path to it. You just got to live with the outcome of that. You know, do you really sit on it? Do you really want to get through your college degree just to please your parents? If it's something that you don't enjoy doing, what outcome is that going to give you if you get into a career and a job? If you're on the boat, and once you're on the boat and you finish your degree, you've kind of got to see it through, in my opinion. And you're doing a job that you hate just to please your parents, or just because you're too scared to put the big boy pants on, big girl pants on, and have the conversation. If you are doing stuff to please other people, then you're always going to run into this problem. It doesn't matter whether it's college or your job or your relationships. You always got to be running into this problem. You've got to disrupt. You've got to go into this stuff and go, the chips will fall where they may. I am smart enough, intelligent enough, I have enough tenacity to make it work. And regardless of what my parents think, whether they're upset at me, happy with me, or whatever, you kind of just have to go, this is what my goal is, and nothing's going to stop me achieving that. If you have that mindset, honestly, it's this secret. And like, people talk about this because talk about setbacks, you know, like, I grew up extremely poor, and I'm not using this as like a sympathy backstory. It's just a pragmatic thought process behind this, because I think about this a lot. You know, I think about why, with all the setbacks that I've had, have I been able to make a good go of it when others have the same setbacks and then get caught up in a welfare loop or things like that. And it's all mindset. From the age of about 15, I made it my mission to be successful. You know, it's hard to talk about this because I've never really unpacked it enough to really give an articulate thought about this. But when I left school, my mind wasn't developed, you know, like, I was young, and I just said to myself, I don't want to be drifting through life. I need to have a plan. And if that plan is in the short term, is just to work my ass off until I work out what I want to do. It's part of the reason I joined the Navy, to be completely fair, is I had no idea what I wanted to do yet. So I was like, well, I don't want to go backwards. I kind of want to be on a boat heading towards the island. So I joined the Navy, and my dad said to me, well, you might as well join. If you don't know what you're going to do, you might as well join, because at least you're going to get paid while you decide. So I joined the Navy, and I just sort of did that until I worked out, actually, I want to do marketing. I want to sell things. I want to talk to people. So you need to like have at least a plan that pushes you in the right direction, or like into a direction. Otherwise you will just either swim in circles, or the boat that you're on will just go in circles, and you won't get anywhere. So Marcus, hopefully that helps you answer. I've kind of waffled off a bit and waffled on, but a lot of this stuff is mindset. The thing I'm tipping, if you really don't want to leave college, the thing that's stopping you from doing that right now is the fear of the unknown. The best way to mitigate that fear is to have a plan. Even if it's not the right plan, to have some kind of plan. It's like looking into the darkness. Like, it's like being in a tunnel, right? You know, college is your tunnel. You're walking through the tunnel right now, and you're right in the middle of it. Second year, right in the middle of it. It's pitch black. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel, which is college. But all through the tunnel, there's all these different other tunnels. And having a plan is like having a lantern, at least, and walking through the tunnel with at least a lantern and going, okay, well, I'm going to take that path, but there's no light at the end of it. So I'm just going to have to walk with the light in front of me and create my own source of light and just keep walking until I reach the destination, or take another tunnel, But not having a plan and at least some kind of exit point is literally like walking through the tunnel without a light, and just kind of being focused on the light that's the college. Don't know if that made sense, but I feel I have a lot of empathy for you, Marcus, and for anyone that's in this situation, because it's not an easy position to be in. But, you know, if you just worry less about what people think about the decision you make, and more drive from an internal fire and create your own light, and go, actually, don't know where the end's going to be, but this is the direction I'm going now. You'll find you'll probably get better outcomes, not only now in college, but all through your life. So Marcus, hopefully that helps you. As you can see, I'm very passionate about helping people, especially with things like this, because experience is an age is a really, really good, having hindsight and things like that makes it really easy to answer these questions. And sometimes when you're standing in the middle of the tunnel with no light, it's very difficult to see the outcome. So sometimes it's nice having someone bounce this stuff off. So if you have a question that you'd like me to answer, leave it in the comments below. Even if it's not something necessarily you want to publicly talk about, I can anonymize what you're saying. And I just feel like that there's a lot of people out there in a similar situation that could be helped. So Thank you so much, Marcus, for the question. Thank you, everyone, for the question that you sent me this week. Make sure to leave your ones in the comments below, and I'll catch you all next week on the next Friday Business Podcast.